All right, we are back with another top 8 commentary video. I have two-twoed my way into this tournament, and now we're watching top 8. First match we're going to watch today is Mono White Heroic against Blue Red Delver. I'm sorry, Blue Black Delver. Sorry about that. The Heroic deck is pretty standard Heroic-y. They're playing with Trailblazers, though. Logano Band Trailblazer, as well as Favorite Hoplite. So they kind of moved on from the Deathblade Elites. There's one in the sideboard, however. And then all the other nonsense of ethereal armors and a bunch of one-mana enchantments that make his deck pretty great. They're playing Stave Off over um, God's Willing, which is a really interesting choice. Stave Off, you can actually target your opponent's creatures, but it doesn't give you the scry, so I don't know if that's even like relevant. On the other side is Blue Black Delver. Delver Secrets, Augur Bolus Tassigurs, and a Storebound Geist kind of peer the way into the beatdown creatures. And they're playing a bunch of spells, 28 spells here. Some fun spells here. Crush of Tentacles and Multiple Choice. Multiple Choice is just a weird card. I don't even know if it's even good, but it does something the more mana you pump into it. And Crush of Tentacles is a random 5/5. It's a random, like, River's Rebuke plus 8/8. But yeah, the other cards here are like pretty standard. Then Relapse Mana Leak. They're playing Miscast, just as another like 1 mana pseudo counter. And they have Ops Ponders and a couple of Heartless Acts. So we're just waiting for the people to pair. They said they're walking the dog, so it'll be 5 minutes. So I did that whole breakdown, and already they're not even here. But it's fine. The rest of the top 8, though, I could talk about that. M-Dog here is playing Mono Blue Affinity. Lurdiff is playing Esper Allies. Honorbound's playing a blue-white Callblade style deck. Pure is playing Eggs. I'm not going to pronounce any. This person here is playing, I believe, another heroic deck. And Takeout Tree is playing Burn. Mono Red Burn. Someone says save opens the mirror and stops the Plasma Tongue cover. That's actually really interesting. That's actually a very interesting take. Like I said, we're just waiting on all the other matches to go. We're gonna watch though the Heroic versus the Delver deck. I don't know who actually wins this. Um, a lot of cards are really annoying for the Delver deck, especially if the deck with only like um 4 actual removal spells. I guess like Multiple Choice kind of removes a creature. Multiple Choice is actually a really interesting card against Heroic, but they can just choose their worst creature. If X is 2, you choose a player, and then they bounce a creature. So I don't know. It's just very interesting choice. This honestly might be one of the better versions of Heroic in like Penny Dreadful's history. Maybe because a combination of like Ethereal Armor plus like the 8 Heroic 1-drops. Plus all the enchantments that are just good. Like Cartouche Solidarity is really good. Sentinel Eyes is like a new enchantment. Griffspoon's been a newer enchantment. So, and Hyena Number is just really good. It's been reprinted a couple times. So it might be one of the better, just sort of like versions of this deck. So yeah, every other match has started except for the matchup I wanted to watch. Miscast is a really interesting card for the Delver deck to play main deck. It's just there basically to protect the Delvers, but in this matchup, it's not going to do it. It's really not going to do anything, at least in this game one. But they have a good amount of sideboard cards to kind of deal with this. it's pretty great to see like a lot of like new faces too. I don't really know some of these. Well, some of these people are kind of like mainstays, but there's some new players too. So it's fun to see new players kind of come through Penny Dreadful, especially in like the mid season, where the mid season is gets pretty stagnant. Because eventually like good decks kind of bubble up, and you kind of just see people good players playing good decks at some point. But yeah, these are two. I mean, one deck kind of a brew, one deck kind of a mainstay, but different look at it. I think it's definitely right though to play Laguna Band Trailblazer. It just beats like mono red decks, which you don't really see a lot of these days. I think deck quality is just kind of better where people need to play like mono red. I did play a mono red deck today, and I don't know. They're playing Shock. I want actually I can look. So they're playing Shock and Burst Lightning. Wow, I was right. All right, here's the match. All right, game one, Heroic against Blue Black Delver. I think if this Delver deck wants to win, they're gonna be on the play here. They flip this Delver early, and then just try to like tempo them out of like their creatures. All right, here's the Delver. So let's see if they're good at Magic. If they can blind flip this Delver. Heroic with the best one drop here. Favorite Hoplite. No flip. Bad. Augur Bolus. Can maybe find like a Heartless Act. Finds a Ponder. Let's see how many things they can put on this Hoplite. When this Hero decks really need to mix up like creature plus pants, basically. 2 mana. Looks like it might just be a Felix Leader. Alright, this Delver needs to flip, like, right now. And you can't have to, like, ignore the board for a little bit. The Bolus does a good job of just blocking for a turn. Oh my goodness. But they do have a Ponder to kind of, like, fix this. The Shodan Island. So here comes the Ponder. Let's see where they go with this. Chose not to shuffle, so it looks like a Delver's going to get set up here. But they're already pretty... It feels like they're already behind, just based on the Heroic deck having 2 things on the battlefield ready to equip. But they're going to Heartless Act the Felix Leader. Griffspoon, make your own Delver, but make it better with a cartouche. I see no reason why they wouldn't attack here. Well, they had like a Sentinel. Sentinel would be pretty great here. Excuse me. It's good when it's good, I would say. Like, there's certain spots where you need it, and that was the only spot they could have used it. But yeah, I kind of like Bloodchief Thirst a lot in this kind of matchup. They don't have any Bloodchief Thirst, though, and they're 75. Ethereal Armor is just gonna make life terrible. They even get in with the Warrior, which just kind of gets eaten by the Augur. The Delver just kind of has to hang out. Trailblazer just for good measure. Delver has to hang out, but a simple stave off here will push through the hoplite. Or Ethereal Armor on the Trailblazer, which makes it another gigantic, scary threat. Ethereal Armor is like one of the crazier cards for Heroic to see. Um, it does give everything like sorcery speed, sort of like enchantment, so you can kind of like play around that a bit, but it just makes things so out of control. Alright, I mean, there's no cards left in the Heroic player's hand, so the Delver player can bring up something. We're good, but nope. Let's look with it. Heroic gonna take that first game. Sideboard. Let's talk sideboard a bit. I guess I could bring in like Orm's Chant. I don't know how good Orm's Chant actually is against this deck. Also, Mask of Law and Grace is a pretty great enchantment that gives a creature pro black and red, which you would presume that most of the spells would be like black removal spells. But if we look at the Delver side, they're playing a couple of interesting cards I can actually see being played. A Null is actually a pretty great card against this deck. Although it doesn't like help with the heroic trigger, they still get the counters on it. But you can kind of counter like a Ethereal Armor or maybe like a Griff Spoon. Um, and Displacement Wave is a really great card. It doesn't really target and can just kind of like bounce everything back. But everything is like a one drop. So it's not really great to bounce everything off the heroic player side. No, Ritual Suit's a good card. I don't think they'd play that. Who would ever play Ritual Suit? Not these good cards. Alright. Turn one Ponder. Solves all problems, as we've known before. Turn one Hoplite. Better turn one play. In this spot. Augur Bolus. Ready to step right in front of his Hoplite. Shows a Ponder. Alright. Alright. They just take it. Alright, another Ponder. Thanks to the Augur. I'm not sure what they're trying to look for here. They're choosing not to shuffle. You really need to like their removal suite is not like super awesome. Cartouche. They can like counter this. They have a null, so that's actually a really fine null. It actually just takes out a creature, but they still get the counter because of the heroic trigger. They're gonna take it. This augur is just sitting there. Displacement wave for 2. They bounce their own augur. That's not a bad displacement wave because the heroic deck only has one card in their hand. Alright. Augur Bolas can find a Heartless Act right here. It's gonna be really great. But they whiffed. They just super whiffed there. And here's a Heartless Act, though. They had it anyway. So now, I mean, if you're a double player, you're right back in it. But here's another Hoplite. You gotta need to deal with this, though, too. This is where Heartless Act is good. Interesting spot. Most of these spells might get countered. Your opponent hasn't really done very much. This is a good spell to counter. Hyena Umbra. It gets lapsed. Lap's not the greatest card in the world in this matchup, especially since every deck's so cheap. But it does mean that it won't draw another land. So, this is a very interesting spot. Um, the Delver deck is not safe at all, but they're doing well. They're 13. Their opponent just has one creature and one land. That gets annulled. So now they don't have to deal with the Hyena Umbra. And again, they take it. Alright, 6 lands. There's another displacement wave. They replay the Augur. They find a Ponder. Okay. 2 out of 3 for Augur Bolus here in this game. And still 1 land for the Heroic deck. The Heroic deck only plays about 17 planes. Delver is backed up with a Ponder. This is interesting. If this Delver can transform, they can start trying to race. They're not shuffling here. So the Ponder definitely will flip this Delver. Certainly they have a spell for this Hoplite. They found the land, which is going to be really helpful. Sentinelize, the first card here. I think they actually play the second Sentinelize too out their graveyard. They can escape it. Alright, they found the Acelet of Life's Bounty. That gets mana leaked. That's probably a pretty decent mana leak. Alright, one card I'm actually interested about. They're still just keeping his Augur around. His Augur is not ready to leave the game. Alright. They transformed the Delver. They revealed Duress. And they're going to Duress their opponent. Alright. They discarded a Griffspoon to show Acelet, Lacana Band Trailblazer, and another Ethereal Armor. So they might have a counter for the Ethereal Armor. One card left in the Delver player's hand. Alright, the Ethereal Armor gets lapsed. Mask of Long Grace, the draw here. So now it's just protected against the black spells that couldn't kill it anyway. Augur finally gets in the way. This looks like a little too late, though. They're going to need... there's one card that actually saves them, but they drew a land. If they simply just play out 2 creatures, they can kind of play around the one card that helps them, which is multiple choice. But they're going to play the Ethereal Armor anyway. Next turn kills here. They're at displacement waves. I think they only had like 2 in their deck. Oh, actually, wait. There's one card that could save them. It's Crush of Tentacles, but that card's not really going to do much. And it bounces everything back anyway, and they just redo it. Alright. Heroic going to move on. 2-0 over Blueback Delver. Alright. A couple of the results. Already in. This match is over. We'll take a look at this match. This is Esper Allies against Mono Blue Affinity. This is game 3, right in the middle of game 3. Heroic took out Burn, 2-1. So 2 Heroic decks already in the top 4. M-Dog, one of the more successful players with Affinity. this season. Couple wins under their belts. As for allies, it's like a pseudo combo deck. It really helps that they have Rally the Answers and Return to the ranks. But it can take a beatdown role as well. This is not the beatdown hand. Especially against a Ginger Brute, which is kind of unblockable against this deck. Yeah, they're playing Fracture in the Esper deck, which they can't cast at all. Now they can cast it, but it might be a little too late. Alright. But the Undo Clerics are gonna just mess up the math for a while. Would have attacked. I don't think you actually want to block. You can't really block the Ginger Brute anyway, and you don't want to just, like, trade your 1-1 for a 2-2. Ugh, but another Ensoul Artifact. Kind of forcing the issue. Now this is a lethal attack. So they're just going to chump away. I actually don't know what they're going to do here. They can fracture one of these guys, but the other one probably kills them. Here's a free blade. Lambs to the slaughter. Alright, couple of chumpers here. Free blade and the excavator. They milled themselves. Maybe looking for a fourth land to try to, like, get back some things. They milled a land and a shapeshifter. Kind of like activating the Bastion here and attacking. I guess you could still do it. Do you even need to, like, activate? I mean, I don't know. Alright, they found a Ravager, which is also pretty annoying. This game's kind of over. I think they're trying to do the math to see if they can kill them with Ginger Brute. Um, certainly close. I think they can. Yeah, they can kill them right here. So, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. With like 5 counters, sack the Rapture itself, put it on the Ginger Brute. This game's over. Alright, they're gonna attack anyway. Giving him a slice of hope. The only card that, like, kind of destroys them here if they go for it's Slaughter Pact. So if they go for it and they Slaughter Pact, that's a gigantic blowout. So that is something to think about. Okay, they're going to go for it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Slaughter Pact, it's just a Doom Blade. Kind of rooting for the ally deck now to have Slaughter Pact. If they had Slaughter Pact, it's just like it's so good here. Oh my god. Do they have it? Oh, the suspense is killing me there. I was waiting for Slaughter Pact. They definitely have Slaughter Pact in their deck. I think it's like a 3 of in their sideboard. But there you go. M-Dog gonna move on. The last match is Eggs against Blue-White Control, aka Cobblade, right in the middle, probably game 3. We're right in the beginning of game 3 here. Um, it's like aptly named Cobblade because of the use of Squadron Hawk plus the blue 8 sort of control shell. They're playing with Imperial Plates though, and Eternal Scourges to go with like Moorland Haunt. So it's actually a really interesting deck. There's a lot of stuff going on. Turn 1 Tormod Script's a nice one against the double Bloom draw from the Eggs deck. This Eggs deck, probably one of the better Eggs builds that Painterful has seen. No land drop for Peter Votto here, the Eggs player. But yeah, with like Reshape, Lotus Bloom, and both Faith Reward and Second Sunrise, it's a pretty good deck. Doesn't need a lot to get going, but they definitely kept a risky one lander or zero lander with the double Lotus Bloom. It might be just enough if they just resolve both Lotus Blooms. But it's going to be hard to go off against a Tormod's Crypt on turn 1. Squadron Hawk, found 2 other Hawks. And now the Ponder is going to come. No shuffle here from this Ponder. I think even if you like Mana Leak one of these like Lotus Plumes, it's going to be really hard for the Eggs player to even do anything with no lands in play. Or here's the Lotus Bloom. This one gets Mana Leaked. That's actually very important. Second one is going to resolve, however. And you really can't do anything with the Bloom, because you can't just lose it for no value at all. So you just have to pass. Oh my god, no lands for the Eggs player. Yep. Alright, another Ponder. This one also no shuffle. Found another Moorland Haunt. So the mana base a bit wonky here. No double white, but it has double blue. I don't know if you really need double white in this match. Well, double white would be kind of nice to have like Ruined Halo. You could put an extra like layer of protection in like Gideon's Intervention or something like that. Yeah, I guess Halo doesn't do anything, but Intervention out the sideboard could do something. You could name any spell, really, at this point. I think they were thinking about playing Imperial Plate and attacking. Um, I wouldn't have minded that, honestly. You could end the game very quickly. Alright, let's get end of turn Factor Fiction. 4 lands, Eternal Scourge. Um, any pile's good here. You take the lands. Yeah, you take the lands all day. That's just a give up pile. That's like I give up. That's a basic I give up pile for sure. Now Imperial Plate looks awesome. Alright, another Temple. Enlightenment. That's a scry to the bottom. There's the post-combat plate. Sad. They could have gotten in for like a billion damage. God, I just wanted a billion damage. Alright, this game feels very over. Equip the Squadron Hawk here. It's a 2-turn clock. Still no lands. Still absolutely no lands in play for the Eggs player. But what were they gonna do against the Tormod script? They could have like repealed it early on, but You risk it for the biscuit, but looks like the Cobbler deck's gonna move on. Gonna join two heroic decks, and what was the other deck that beat the ally player? Affinity. I might just keep watching the Cobbler deck. It's actually probably the most interesting deck out of the rest of the top four. And yeah, since we already watched Heroic, it's a Heroic mirror, so I have a guarantee that Heroic will make the finals. But we're gonna watch the other side of the top four. It's gonna be Blue White Callblade from Honorbound versus M Dog with the Affinity deck. Two good players with two pretty good decks, so can't wait to see them duke it out. One of the strengths of the Affinity deck is that they play a bunch of like creature lands in the face of like Vicious Factory and Fallshock Bastion. So it's really good against like wrath effects that the Cobblade deck is gonna have. But they also like 3-day Judgment's main deck. But the mono blue Affinity list has two strengths, I would say, or three strengths. One is Master of Ethereum, two is the Soul Artifact, and three is Thoughtcast. I think Thoughtcast is super great. All right, looks like Cobblade's gonna be in the play here. Gonna start with the Temple. Good way to sort of shape the hand. That Scry is on top. They like what they see. Good dog starts with the Drum. An Ornithopter. And they have a Ginger Brute. Good start. Alright, they're gonna play as Squadron Hawk, which doesn't really do much against the Ginger Brute. But they're gonna have to just refill their hand if they feel like it. Squadron Hawk gets a Shuffle, which is pretty good with Ponder. If you need shuffles, more shuffles. I guess I meant to say it was good for like Brainstorm, but we don't have Brainstorm anymore. The last time we had Brainstorm, we also had Ponder. So, but anyway, Squadron Hawk, time proven over time to be a really good card. But this is a big board. It looks like Honorbound's gonna look for a Wrath effect on turn 4. Finds a Plating. It's gonna get Mana Leaked. They could have had a Metallic Rebuke there. I feel like they had Rebuke, but you want to Rebuke a Wrath effect. Alright, they're going to tap out for another Drum. Alright, they don't have to Rebuke. They're definitely attacking here. I guess they're going to really play it anyway. But this is the easy Wrath if they have it. Alright. Now I'm not left with much. But they're going to install Artifact one of the Drums to keep the pressure going. Right. Honorbound does have like 2 Hawks in the hand, but decides to play none of them. That's very interesting. They must trying to hold like a counter spell. You can Moreland Haunt here and block with the Squadron Hawk Spirit. But they have Condemn for the Drum. Edge Champion, though, the follow-up, it's going to resolve. Those skirt right around the more than hot trigger or tokens. End of turn Factor Fiction shows Oust, Ponder, 3 lands. If I had to guess, you're going to take the Ponder hand. There's some weird choice where you just give them Ponder 4 lands. Because extra lands don't do anything. Oust doesn't do anything. It's your board. I would even give. I would have given them just the pawn. I don't think they take 3 lands Oust here. You just gave him extra card with his Ponder. I think they take the Ponder, right? Huh. Decisions are being made here. I don't really think that Oust is good in this spot. It does kill other creatures, I guess, other than the champion. But if they find like a plating here, the champion's like the Oust just doesn't do anything against that. So you need to find like another answer, maybe like another day, or one of the one of the more interesting cards in this deck is Eternal Scourge, which does block the Edge Champion. They took the 3 pile, so they took the Oust. That's actually a super interesting choice, which might mean they already have Eternal Scourge. All right, Squadron Hawk's gonna shuffle, or look for another Hawk maybe. Or they scryed. They must have scryed to the bottom. Wait, how'd they? They scryed to the bottom and then decided to shuffle, which is kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not sure how that even works out. All right, plating would be a scary card here. It'd represent like a 2-turn clock. All right, they found it in Soul Artifact. This time going on the Citadel. That's actually so ballsy when you know your opponent has Oust in their hand. That's actually an incredible misplay. Did they just like forget that he has Oust? That they took the Oust? All right, there it is. All right, another Hawk. No more Hawks to find. I think that's all 4 of them. Like attacking. Um, it's more than likely to have another artifact to play. So you might as well attack. There's an... Alright, they have another Edge Champion. Double trouble. Another Day Gem would be pretty strong here. Maybe, like, Honorbound was just, like, super cognizant of the fact that, like, the Soul Artifact on a Dark Citadel would be pretty great. There's an Ondu Inversion. That's actually pretty strong. They have a land in their hand. So this Inversion actually kills everything. They've taken back these 2 islands they got from the Oust Factor Fiction. The problem with this in Ondu Inversion is that there's a Mistress Factory in play. All the creature lands are just like kind of crazy. Yeah, the 3 cards in your hand are like a hawk and 2 islands. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they really like discarded much, so I think you just this kinda this is very interesting. Like I actually think Honor Bound's not going to take the Auto version because their only real out is like Day of Judgment. Like, this is good, but again, it doesn't like solve the actual problem. I don't know. Alright, I'm wrong. They're gonna just... Okay, they have a Port Town. They drew the Port Town. I'm pretty sure they drew this Port Town. The next card in M-Dog's hand is going to be the Citadel from the Oust, I believe. So... the factories aren't really a big deal. There's a bunch of Moreland Haunt tokens that could use. So there's the Citadel that got ousted before. You just gotta have to crash in with the factory or the Bastion, either or. Alright, the last Hawk here. They're down one Imperial Plate. Another one would be kind of nice against the factory. Ooh, I don't know if I like this attack. Because I would definitely just double block. I would make a Haunt token and just block. They drew a Bastion. Okay, this will try to force you some damage. I still like double blocking the factory. But the creature lands are definitely coming into play for M-Dog. They can kind of just like cheese them out. Cards like Daejeon are really good. They found a Condemn! That was the unknown card in their hand. Oh my goodness. Now they can exile this. Oh my god. They can exile a Hawk. They're crawling back. Crawling back. Slam Dream Trawler would be great. The last card's an island, so they're definitely just top decking here. Okay, that was the island, so... Last card's a mystery. If it's another Condemn, it's going to be pretty great. This has been a really good game so far. Cobblade just, like, barely holding on here. Alright, Bastion's going to eat a Moreland Haunt token. Now on, like, the only mistake I really saw was just, like, doing that in Soul Artifact was just, like, so greedy. We're not even greedy, it's just, like, not even right. Just knowing they already had Oust and just doing that was, like, it's kind of silly. Alright, Honor Bound just passes here. They drew a Citadel. And here comes the Sebastian once more. Only about, like, one more creature in their graveyard. Oh, they found a Ginger Brute. No counterspell. The Ginger Brute can trade with the Moreland Haunt token here. I think you just, like, trade. I honestly think you trade. You just go to 2, hope for the best here. Ah, nothing. They drew absolutely nothing there. So, Affinity takes the first game. This best of 3. Cyber-wise, I'm not sure what M-Dog's going to bring in. I think they'll bring in the Vidalcan Surtarks as sort of like a pseudo Rishadan port. More Talgabeats could be nice too. Just as extra counter spells against some of the Wrath effects. Welding Jar is actually really good too against Wrath effects, speaking of which. Cobblade. Could bring in a lot of different things. Disenchant's pretty great. Timely's pretty great. Fracturing Guts is like a big blowout. Another extra day judgment. All pretty good cards against this affinity deck. Alright, Heroic beats Heroic. It's gonna see in the finals, but the Trailblazer version of Heroic, I think actually I think they're both Trailblazers. If we look. No, the non-Trailblazer deck lost. So Trailblazer Heroic onto the finals. Gonna face the winner of this match here. Alright. Turn 1 Scry from Callblade. Gonna go to the bottom here. Double Memnite. Triple Memnite. Is there a land? Oh my goodness. Again, no landers being kept here. Going for the super beatdown plan. Oh, here's the Capnet. Not super mindful yet, but just Capnet. Alright, here's a drum. So then now they have 2 lands in play, basically. And another drum. Oh my goodness. Their hand was actually really good. They had double drum. Alright, and a Thought Cast to draw some cards. Wow, this was a... I mean, if they drew a land in turn 2, that would have been a really good hand. You definitely want a Wrath here if you can, but it looks like there's no Wrath site. Definitely gotta worry about, like, Kefnet, draw a card, pick up a land, or even just Factor Fiction on your attack step, or in your attack phase. Alright, Signal Pest, double trouble here. And a Cranial Plating. But again, the Kefnet can just pick up a land and draw a card. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't attack into this Kefnet. No. Alright. The worst of it is Factor Fiction. So I think they're kind of forced to take the 3 pile. So you can actually manipulate this 3 pile in a very interesting way. The thing is, though, like, you can't really, because Eternal Scourge doesn't mind being in the graveyard if they have a Moorland Haunt in play. So, like, the 3 pile you want to give them is, like, Eternal Scourge double lands, which is still a really good pile for them. But you can get rid of this Dream Trawler if you want. Or double Eternal Scourge land is not bad. They can't really cast all the Eternal Scourges. They have to take the 3 pile here, or otherwise they take, like, so much damage. So, okay. Or, I mean, if Honor-Bound's, interesting, they take the 2, and then they just play Day Judgment. You kind of have to... I don't know. Depends on, like, how, like, loose something like told you want to be here. They took the 2! Oh, man. Did they just bait them into having Day Judgment? That'd be, like, the most, like, 6-head play I've ever seen. If they actually just baited them to having Day Judgment. But they're going to take, like, 9 damage for it, which is, like, kind of insane. Okay, Captain is active. Here's the problem with, like, taking the 2 okay, you have to attack, obviously. They're gonna day, so they're gonna day. But it's like, now you're like gonna die to this Mishra's Factory, perhaps. Alright. Fracturing Guts, never mind. Oh, what a blowout. What an incredible blowout. Oh, it's over. This game's over. This is very rude. Alright. Here's Moreland Haunt, too, the make Eternal Skirt. And here comes the Dream Trawler. Oh my goodness. Oh man. All calculated here. Alright, here's a Master. Not out of it yet. The Gingerbread can get through the Captain and the Dream Trawler. Might be the only thing they have. But the Dream Trawler's about to gain 4 life a turn. Alright. Dream Trawler attacks for 5, actually. Excuse me, it draws a card when it attacks. Or the Tech Edge actually deals with any of the creature lands. They're going to Tech Edge the factory. I feel like we're going to game 3. The Dream Trawler is just kind of a big deal. I don't know if they could just race this. They have literal disenchant for the Master, which just gets sacked to the Ravager. They have the fun art disenchant. I actually like this art. It's one of my favorite arts. It's Time Spiral Remaster. Or Time Spiral. So they still have 3 mana to activate the Moreland Haunt. The draw here is a Mem Knight from Affinity. Not super great. Yeah, these attacks are pretty free. Actually, oh, they've never mind. I don't think it's free. So you definitely just want to sack this Ravager. I don't think you get anywhere by just letting it go. They're gonna put the counters on the Gingerbread, which is basically unblockable. I'm surprised they didn't attack with the Frostwalk Bastion as well. They have no cards in their hand, so another play would have been maybe to put the counters on the Frostwalk Bastion. I'm not really sure. But I think this is more correct. It's just so hard for Affinity to race the Stream Trawler now. Um, it could simply just attack twice, and this game's just kind of over. They're at a healthy life total where they can kind of just take any damage. Just for good measure, here's a Moreland Haunt token and Eternal Scourge for no actual reason, but why not? All right, gonna go to game 3. This last semifinal match. A winner will play against Heroic, waiting in the wings. But yeah, Fresh and Guts big blowout. That was a pretty great bait on the The fact, I mean, now knowing that they had refreshing gust, just like imagine if they gave them like, well, they already had the land too, so that was just crazy. Right, game three, M Dog gonna be in the play. Let's see if they keep another zero lander. That was really fun. Oh, I'm so hungry too. I didn't really have dinner, but I don't really eat. I don't really eat dinner anymore. I have late dinners. I have very late dinners, but I don't really eat dinner. I usually have like a snack in the night. Definitely a yogurt dinner today. Maybe a granola bar. All right. Turn one Ornithopter. No land drop yet. Memnite. Oh, there's the land. And they have a Frogmite. Okay, good start. Good old 3 power turn one. It's not broken at all. I actually questioned Frogmite in this deck, but I mean, you get these turns like this, and it feels pretty great. There's only 2 Frogmites in this list. Oh, they have a plating. Oh my goodness, this is already really scary. Honormount's gonna have to find a disenchant really quickly, or even a condemn. They have oust. They're gonna oust the Frogmite, which doesn't really help. All right, Port Down's gonna come to play tapped. That means the plating hit's gonna happen here. Ooh, they found the factory. All right, this is a big attack. It's an attack for 8. I think the next card Amdoc's gonna draw is the Frogmite. So if they have like a disenchant for the plating, it's not too bad. Timely is also really good here, although the Ornithopter kind of flies over the tokens. Ruined Halo? Disenchant, alright, Disenchant's fine. They really nerfed a lot of the damage here. And Oust on the Memnite. Wow, that's... You gotta do it there. I think you just have to like freeze some of their draws. The next card is the Frogmite, so it's actually kind of hard to cast. Well, not anymore, actually. Now they have 3 artifacts, so... But you can't really activate the factory to pump the factory, the one that's already activated. But it's probably better that you just play the Frogmite. Kind of puts more damage on the board. Alright. Turtle Scourge. Pretty good blocker. Alright, this is the Memnite. Doesn't... Just trades really this factory here. I think you just have to, like, make the trade. Doesn't attack with the Frogmite. Kind of worried that they won't chump. I think you actually attack with the Frogmite here, because if you draw a land, they're probably going to date Judgment you here. So you might not get any value out of this having this Frogmite not in play. Ooh, they found Timely. Perfect name for this card. It's always Timely. Right, they found the blue source of mana, so now cards like Soul Artifact or Master of Ethereum are kind of online. Not sure if they kept in Soul though. It's kind of a crazy 2-for-1 in face of Oust or Condemn. I don't like this attack. It just kind of wipes the board. But then if it's just gonna like block everything to kill. But then you can't just like let them keep everything. I don't know. And they're still like good on Timely. So they can play another Timely here and this will be fine. Alright, Ponder. Gotta find a land. Or hope to find a land. Alright. Did they shuffle? I didn't really see. Oh wait, they actually countered the ponder. Sorry, I didn't even look at that. Alright, kind of land heavy here for the affinity deck, but they have one of the best lands here, Mishra's Factory. Ooh. But Callblade finds a condemn. Countering that ponder is pretty interesting. I guess you kind of have to choke them in some way, but I never really like countering card drawing spells unless they win you the game in some way. Found another land, the Darksteel Citadel. The door is closing here for Affinity. End of turn Factor Fiction shows 4 lands and another Factor Fiction. So even if you get like 4 lands here, it's not great. Like you can't like giving him 4 lands is like not good either. But giving him just Factor Fiction. But this is rough. This is a rough pile for the Affinity deck. Moorland Haunt's actually a really good land. Um, it helps with their engine. They already have the Eternal Scourge. You like Haunt, Factory in one pile? The problem is that's a really good pile. I think it's like probably like Temple, like card draw versus just like basic land, like just lands, utility lands. I guess I don't know. Like I would probably do like Factor Fiction Temple, and like Moorland Haunt 2 lands. I don't know. It's hard. I think it's hard regardless. You're just not in a good spot no matter what. All right. Looks like the pile was Plains Factor Fiction. They decided to take the Factor Fiction pile. It feels like they were going to take Factor Fiction no matter what. Well, they already have the Eternal Scourge in their exile pile, so eventually it will do something. They drew a drum, which is technically another land. It's kind of gross. It's kind of a land, kind of not. It just doesn't do anything in the spot. Here goes the other Factor Fiction. This time 3 lands, Squadron Hawk Condemn. That's pretty brutal, because the Hawk's really good here. And the Condemn is also very good. You're probably just splitting Condemn Hawk, and then... The Hawk represents just damage. Condemn represents more control. It's probably like Port Town, double Port Town Hawk, and like Temple Condemn. Condemn's a really good tool for the creature lands. Hawk will just actually win the game at some point. Alright, looks like they did indeed take the Hawk double Port Town. It's actually very curious that they're not even playing the Hawk. They actually have a lot of thought. All right, Ruined Halo is an interesting card. What do you name here? Um, maybe like I don't know what you actually name here. They're an Edge Champion. It's kind of the more scarier cards, I guess. But they already have the Eternal Scourge, which is interesting. To discard the other Port Town. So Ravager is here. It looks like it might get countered. They can't mana leak because of the Ornithopter and the drums. It's actually really funny. So they're gonna forbid, probably with buyback, or no, just a straight forbid. Good old cancel. I think they do have leak for sure. All right, they're gonna slam the Dream Trawler. What is a big deal? It gives a M Dog a chance to draw a card or play a card. It's a plating. What a draw! Now the Ornithopter can trade with the Dream Trawler. They're gonna attack. I actually love this attack. Because now it means that, like, now they have to attack back to draw a card. Because but there's a distant chance for the plating, bringing the Ornithopter back to Earth. Honorbound's still holding 7 cards in their hand. Um, there's no forbid anymore that they didn't buy back. So they either have the other forbid that's in their deck, or just some other nonsense. I don't really know. They do have a pseudo forbid lock. Not really. But yeah, no, they do have a forbid lock with the Dream Troll if they attack every turn. The Soul Artifact probably get a forbid with buyback here. It looks like forbid with buyback. So yeah, that's the forbid lock. The Dream Trawler draws a card every turn. As long as they're natural draw, they just pretty much game over here. Well, it looks like Honorbound with the Callblade deck gonna take it to the finals. Gonna play against Heroic. I really don't think they could win from here. It's all supposed to getting countered, and they gain 5 life a turn. All right, here's a Ginger Brute. Again, just gets countered, or they just even let it resolve. Who cares? Probably just don't even care. Yeah, there's nothing that's gonna happen here. There's nothing that happens here. Honorbound gonna take it on to the finals. Gonna play against Heroic. I don't know how the matchup goes, but might be another tough one. That was actually a really good game. A lot of back and forth. I think some risky keeps maybe, but we're gonna go right into the finals. Um, Heroic has been waiting patiently after the Heroic Mirror. He's gonna play against Hallblade. Blue white control. Early interaction's really gonna be the difference maker in this sort of matchup. Honestly, a card like Rune Halo might just end some games if they can't go wide. If the heroic deck can't really go wide here. Um, a fun fact, I would say that most of the creatures are white, so you can't really like pro white with like stave off and not lose your enchantments. So that's actually a really funny interaction that you might see in this matchup. Just waiting on Honorbound to join, but thanks everyone again for watching. If you like what you see, like, follow, subscribe, or follow the stream. Either or. Thanks everyone for watching. Alright, Hiroka in the play. They won that die roll. That's a big deal. Alright, both players kept 7, it looks like. Turn 1 Hoplite, the classic. Turn 1 Untap Plains, which could see an early condemn. Ooh, did they bite? Do they have the condemn? No. Looks like it's not to be. Alright, Port Town. Gonna reveal an island. Showed Squadron Hawk, which is a great chumper. Gets another Hawk. Alright. Acelet and Hyena Umbra on the Hoplite. So that means the Wrath effect won't actually kill the favorite Hoplite here. But the Hawks can keep coming. Alright, one Hawks. Gotta find another. Alright, Ethereal Armor on the Warrior token. It's a good spread of damage. The Heightening Emperor just makes everything so annoying. Because now even if they just play the Dejo in here, it's just like, they keep this guy. It's just super dumb. Super silly. Although if they have like, if they draw on a Condemn here, they can just block one, condemn the other, and they would actually take off the Ethereal Armor. Or they're gonna oust. This is a great oust. Because if they just acelet this, then they lose all the enchantments. When they mean Hating Umbra. If they don't, they just lose it anyway. So interesting call what to do here. Looks like they're gonna acelet. Which means they just still lose a bunch of enchantments. Which reduces the warrior token. But it keeps a 4-5 around. So you're kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't, I suppose. But now, like, Wrath is good. Wrath here is super good. So if you're heroic here, you don't want to add more to the board. But they do. They're gonna just go all in. Try to push through as much damage as they can. This was a great setup though to get rid of that high number because now they have Dage on it. They look like they're in such good position. All right, they're not immediately slamming it, but they have a fourth hawk, the other hawk, to buy even more time. And now Moreland Haunt tokens can start chumping as well, so plenty of time. Plenty of time here. Alright, Sentinel Eyes, the draw here. If gets her last card, it's probably some sort of protection spell. But this means that the Moreland Haunt token will have to block the warrior. And it's kind of wrath or bust here for the Callblade player. Only 3 rats in the main deck. Pretty interesting choice. I would have thought that like there's a lot of art aggro decks in this format, but I'm not in the finals, so I can tell you. Again, it's Wrath or Bust here. Even like a Ponder to find a Wrath would be kind of nice. Upkeep. A pause on the upkeep. A little prayer. Please give me this Wrath. Callblade saying. There's no need for an upkeep stop here if you're the Heroic deck. You don't really have... You can't really bluff anything. Alright. 6 lands. If this is a Dream Trawler, it won't matter. It won't matter because first strike damage anyway. So, you'd have to, like, block the first strike damage. Yeah, that wouldn't really matter. Okay. Game 1 goes to Heroic. The Wrath was not found. Sideboard-wise, I don't know if Heroic can really do much. They have Orm's Chance here to kind of, like, freeze the turn where they need the Wrath. So it's not really a bad card. I don't think, like, Stave Off is actually particularly good in this matchup. Because all your enchantments are white, so you would just lose them all. Unlike old Heroic decks, this deck relies mostly on enchantments to get the power and toughness going pretty high. Old decks used to use things like Defiant Strike or other sort of like spells to target the creatures. So on the other side, I definitely think you're gonna see Timely's, the Wrath. Even like Ruined Halo is not bad in this matchup. You could just name the creature that's really big. All right, Port Town tapped the first play in this game too. Heroic finds an Aethelid, not the scariest card. But definitely sees play, mostly because of Ethereal Armor, I assume. Ponder. Gonna look for some stuff. No shuffle here. Plays the Ondu Inversion Land, which is Ondu Sky Ruins. Phalanx Leader, the turn 2 play. Ruined Halo. Probably names Phalanx Leader. But, I mean, the good thing about Phalanx Leader is that you don't even need to do any damage. It'll just pump the team. Cartouche makes another teammate here in the Warrior. And Sentinel Eyes on the Warrior spreads the love. Wrath would be the best draw here, I would say. I don't know, I might get a little greedy. Maybe. Maybe not. I think you just wrath when you want. An easy 3 for 1. Okay. Quick concession. Very quick concession there. Um, that's okay. I don't like that. I'm just gonna say I don't like quick concessions like that. You kind of have to expect your opponent's gonna have wraths, and if you just like scoop the one like that, then you probably didn't play around it enough. No, playing around. It's something like you're gonna keep going. You had it sentinelized. It's in your graveyard. Any creature you make is gonna get sentinelized up. It's like, come on. Turn one hoplite. Best card here. And it's game 3. All right, Phalanx Leader follow up. You're gonna have to play 2 creatures there because if they have like Ruined Halo, and you don't do anything, it's just like you're kind of stuck. So leaders get sentinelized here. I don't think Honorbound kept any like Mana Leaks in their deck, but that'd be a good target to Mana Leak. It's gonna be even better when he condemns it here. All right, Gripspoon goes on the Hoplite. I sense a condemn, a pretty strong condemn here. You kind of can't really play around it too if you're heroic. There's the condemn. Or maybe you thought about it afterwards, but like, or here's the timely. Doesn't really block the flying hoplite though. So, ooh, they found another hyena number, which is actually really big, and another phalanx leader. But another oust would be really big here, super big. All right, ponder. Looking for that oust, looking for that condemn, anything. Looking for that ruined halo even. Even Squadron Hawk's not bad. They find Squadron Hawk. A lot of cards. A lot of good draws here for the deck. No shuffle. Finds a land. Plays a Kefnet. Can't block yet. Ooh, Sentinelize. It's gonna be over if they find a Ethereal Armor. But it's pretty close. Well, Wrath doesn't even do it. The Hyena can just, like, eat the Wrath. Gideon's Intervention! It's gonna name Favorite Hoplite. They brought it in. Prevent all damage will be dealt to you by a source you and purpose of control. And now they can cast further Hoplites. That's hilarious. This is this is actually kind of rough. For the heroic deck. Callblade's seemingly stable here. The best card would be another Grifspoon to start flying over the soldier tokens. Although the captain can start kind of drawing cards every turn. A Squadron Hawk would be kind of nice. It'd find 3 more Hawks to kind of boost the Kefnet. Also, it's just a flying blocker in case Grifspoon is found. It's gonna be another tight race though, but the enchantment's making it work. Keating's intervention and Ruined Halo. Ethereal armor on the Phalanx leader is gonna make this guy pretty big. Basically, have to chump this thing every turn, but the timely reinforcements do make it possible. Then a fact efficient in response, I guess, to the ethereal armor. Alright. It's a pretty easy attack. I mean, they're going to block with a soldier token for sure. Alright, they're going to factor fiction. Treasure Cruise, Squadron Hawk, 3 lands, one of them being Moreland Haunt. The Hawk is really annoying. It's actually super annoying for the heroic player. It just makes blockers. Alright, they took the 4, which means the Kefnet will be active next turn, which is a very good blocker for the Phalanx leader. Also, taking the Moreland Haunt also creates a couple of like blockers here and there if they need it. At least one with the Hawk in the graveyard. And they gave them Cruise too. So, like, they just get a pile of cards here. Now they're gonna like play their land. Like, the Kefnet's just super active now. Alright. Temple is the land drop here. Hit the Scry. That Scry goes at the bottom. Callblade looks to be stable, I would say. The Kefnet's now a really good blocker. They don't need the chump anymore. It's also indestructible and flying. Without something like, I don't know, like a Spirit Mantle. I don't know if they would bring in Spirit Mantle to this matchup. It's kind of like rough. It'd be like a really hard ask to bring in Spirit Mantle. Alright, Port Town. Shows a land. So definitely 2 lands in play. Kevin can start just drawing cards now. Continue to land drops. Another Factor Fiction. Shows Keating's Intervention, Squadron Hawk, Ponder, 2 lands. Splits the Intervention and the Hawk. They took the Intervention. Of course. Now you can name Phalanx Leader and not even care. I don't know if they know that they don't have Disenchants in their deck, but I think they might just start attacking. Maybe with the... Like, even if they have the combination of, like, Disenchant plus, like, Griftspoon, I don't know if they even, like, care about that. So I mean, well, they can't really attack with a Kefnet, because I guess this guy flies. So that's actually really annoying. But at least now they can, like, not tap out. So I guess the game's not super over yet. They still need to find, like... Bull and House would be pretty great on the Griftspoon favorite hoplite. Although then they would just move the Griftspoon onto the Phalanx Leader. So they need, like, 2 ousts. Basically, if they double oust, they can't really cast anything. And the game's gonna be over, because the intervention actually prevents casting as well. So Kevin's gonna draw. Then I'm gonna pick up the temple for some 6 energy. Yeah, all Honorbound really has to do here is just not lose. It's I don't think it's like this is tough. I think like basically it's the Cobbly's deck to lose here. Here's one house, which again it does like take off the Griff Spoon. You kind of have to put the Griff Spoon onto the Phalanx Leader in order to stay alive. They have Karametra's Blessing. Oh, I forgot they had this in their deck. It's enchanted, so it gives them Hexproof. I completely forgot this was in their deck. Wow. The card does have a lot of text for no reason. Alright, they're gonna play Eternal Scourge. What a silly stalemate that these decks are in. The Heroic deck really can't do any damage right now, but the Cobbly player can't really push through damage. Like, you definitely don't concede here if you're the Heroic player. There's no reason to. Alright, Captain's gonna draw another card. They have to kind of worry about getting decked at this point. There's just a lot of, like... There's a lot of different things to worry about now. That was, like, one of your outs. You only have, like, one more in your deck. If they have the foresight, they can't even bring in Fraction Gust. Alright, here's another oust. They could have another blessing here. I don't know if they even have any more counter spells in their deck. Alright, the oust does resolve. It does put all the enchantments in the graveyard, so you still can Griff Spoon this thing up. Alright, Ace on Life's Bounty is a creature that they can actually cast here. I think they're going to try to Sentinel Eyes, maybe the Aesolid here. Or they had another Griff Spoon, so they're going to put it on the Phalanx Leader. Super interesting choice to put it on the... I mean, do you have another one to put it on the Aesolid? So this Griff Spoon at least pumps this thing. And still can block the Kefnet without dying. Alright. Kefnet's going to draw another card. Can draw 2 cards here with the Kefnet. So, I mean, this Kefnet can't attack. If they're, like, heads up about it, the Griff Spoon can come back in the graveyard from the graveyard to enchant the Aesolid. So they do have to be careful about that. Alright, here's Day Judgment. Pretty big day. I guess, like, Karametra's Blessing would do it, and that's it. Heroic's finally done here. Caw-Blade wins 2-1 over Heroic. Good match. A lot of slow back and forth. Like, a lot of just, like, slow mechanizations here. But Looks like Cobblade got it done. Excuse me.